Welcome everybody to the NETGEAR AirCard Smart Cradle quick setup tutorial. In this first tutorial we'll go through what's in the box, how to set up the smart cradle, as well as some features of the actual smart cradle. So basically what comes in the box is the actual smart cradle itself, two detachable Wi-Fi antennas, as well as a power supply to actually power up the unit. Front of the cradle you'll see a USB 3.0 port, which will allow you to plug in a USB storage drive or a USB printer, and anyone that's actually connected to the network can actually access the files that's on that USB drive, or print to that printer that's plugged into the USB port here. Range of LEDs. First one is a power LED. Second one is a USB LED. Third here is the internet LED. These 4 LAN LEDs display what's plugged into the back Ethernet ports, and 2 WLAN LEDs, one's for 2.4 and the other one's for 5 GHz. Got 2 TS9 connectors plus a micro USB to dock your mobile hotspot, as well as a holder here to secure your mobile hotspot in place. It is 802.11 AC Wi-Fi capable, as well as it's backwards compatible with BG and N. Built-in 3G, 4G antennas. Also has a feature called Beamforming, which the cradle has some smarts to determine exactly where all your Wi-Fi connected devices are located in your home or your office, and it will broadcast a beam towards those Wi-Fi devices, giving you a stronger, better signal, in turn giving you a better Wi-Fi experience. Now, the cradle is actually ReadyShare USB and ReadyShare print capable, as well as it is DLNA capable. So anyone accessing the smart cradle's network can access anything that's plugged into the USB drive. Also, if you wanted to access the USB drive or the printer if you're outside of the network, you can do so as long as your mobile hotspot has a SIM card which has an APN provision on there that provides a public IP address. So Telstra, it's usually telstra.extranet, or if you've got a big PON service, it usually has a public IP address assigned. Back of the cradle you'll have the 2 Wi-Fi antenna connectors at the top here, and those 2 antenna connectors are for the 2 detachable Wi-Fi antennas that come in the box. There is a WPS button also, which allows you to connect up any devices that are WPS capable. 2 3G, 4G antenna connectors. So if you've got an existing external 3G, 4G antenna, you can actually plug into these 2 ports, as long as you've got the correct patch leads for it. 4 gigabit Ethernet ports to provide LAN connectivity for legacy equipment, as well as 1 gigabit WAN port, which allows you to plug in your existing fixed line connection and use the DC112A NETGEAR AirCard Smart Cradle's 802.11 AC Wi-Fi capabilities, or you can actually use it for failover. So if the smart cradle detects that your fixed line connection has dropped out for some reason, it will actually fail over to the mobile hotspot that's docked into the front of the cradle. Power button, power jack, as well as in between the power button and the WAN port you'll see a little reset hole, which allows you to actually reset the smart cradle back to factory defaults if you're having any issues with connecting to the actual smart cradle's web UI. quite easy to install. What you firstly need to do is actually screw in the detachable Wi-Fi antennas, and it's very important that you actually screw these antennas in. If these antennas aren't plugged in or screwed in, you will actually have a poor Wi-Fi experience and your signal will degrade. So just make sure that these Wi-Fi antennas are secured and plugged in. Get the power supply and plug it into the power jack at the back here, and then press the power button in to power up the cradle. Now once the cradle's ready, you'll see that the power LED will be a solid orange. That indicates that the cradle's powered up and it's ready to go. When you first power up, you'll see all the LEDs lit up, and then they'll switch off, as well as the internal fan will switch on, switch off, and that's normal with the smart cradle. So once you see that orange light, you can dock your mobile hotspot. In this video tutorial, I'm going to use the AirCard 790S. Make sure that the two antenna covers are actually open before you dock the smart cradle. Now the smart cradle is actually compatible with the AirCard 790S, the AirCard 785S and the AirCard 782S. And can be purchased through any Telstra store. Same with the NETGEAR AirCard Smart Cradle. It can actually be purchased through any Telstra store. But if you cannot reach a Telstra store, you can actually purchase the Smart Cradle through one of our online retailers at www.netgear.com.au/Telstra accessories. Now, once you've got your mobile hotspot docked, you'll see that the power LED is solid green, the internet LED is solid green, and the WLAN LEDs are both solid green. If you did have an Ethernet cable plugged into one of the gigabit Ethernet ports at the back, you'll also see that one of the LAN LEDs will also be lit up. Now one thing to keep in mind is if your internet LED is either off or it's a solid orange, it just means that it's not getting any internet connectivity through the mobile hotspot or a WAN connection that's plugged into the back. If you've got your mobile hotspot docked, just undock it. Plug it into your PC via USB cable and see if you've actually got internet connectivity. Make sure you've got your correct APN profile set up in the web UI, as well as your SIM cards inserted correctly. On the LCD, you'll notice that you'll get your signal bar as well as what network type you're connected to. If it's docked successfully, as I said, the internet LED will be green, power will be green, and both the WLANs will be solid green, as well as on the LCD of the hotspot, you'll see that the current Wi-Fi SSID and passphrase from the hotspot will be grayed out, and a little note will be displayed on top, indicating that the Wi-Fi of the mobile hotspot has been disabled and you need to start using the Wi-Fi from the smart cradle, as well as a little cradle icon just next to the battery percentage bar. Now, when you dock your mobile hotspot, it will actually disable the Wi-Fi from your mobile hotspot, and you need to start using the cradle's Wi-Fi. And in order to jump onto the cradle's Wi-Fi, you can press the WPS button at the back and connect up to any WPS capable device. or underneath the cradle on the label, you will actually see the Wi-Fi SSID and the passphrase for the smart cradle itself. So important to note that once you dock your mobile hotspot, it will disable the Wi-Fi and you need to connect to the Wi-Fi of the smart cradle. Label underneath will show you the login information. Now, if the WLAN LEDs are actually switched off, it probably means that the Cradle's WLAN has been disabled for some reason, and to fix that you can either reset it to factory defaults by pressing the reset hole, or plug in an Ethernet cable to your PC, open up a web browser, go to 192.168.100.1 from your web browser, or NETGEAR.Cradle, and log in with your admin login details, which again is on the label underneath the cradle, and just re-enable the WLAN connections. That is pretty much the setup of the NETGEAR AirCard Smart Cradle, model number DC112A. Thank you for watching.